How about playoff Lenny, Super Bowl Lenny now? What a situation I can't even talk. What a crazy situation. Let's just get into it. And we'll start off with the play you see on the screen. It's a 3rd down and 1 situation. And really, a lot of these plays, as it always is with the running game, some of the big plays are going to be just with offensive line and the blocking in front. And there was definitely good blocking in front all game long. Watch, once this play starts, it's really Donovan Smith, another guy he's been criticized his entire career, really, but he had an incredible playoff run. And look at that block, getting up to the 2nd level, completely taking the linebacker out. So now for Fournette, all he has to do is really just put his head down and just try and pick up the 1st down, because that's what you're doing here. You don't want to take any chances and try to get to the outside and lose a yard. If you have the 1st down on 3rd and 1, you just go for it. And this was a big play up until this point. This was where they ended up scoring a touchdown on this drive. If they get stopped here, again, the Bucs still win, but let's be honest. But, at the time, it felt like a big play. And as you see, Fournette runs through and does a great job of running and picking up as many yards as possible, even though really the 1st yard was the main one that mattered. But still, good run by Fournette. There was also this one, a classic Leonard Fournette run. I love this one. It's going to be a run to the right. And why is it a classic Leonard Fournette run? Because he's going to run into his own offensive lineman. Watch. The ball is snapped, and he's going to end up running square into Ryan Jensen right here, because that's what Leonard Fournette does, But one of the amazing things he's been able to do with Tampa Bay is seemingly just bounce off those guys and pick up 20 yards after he does it. So it's the weirdest thing in the playbook for Tampa Bay. I wonder if that's part of their strategy. Okay, 28, run into, Ryan Jensen, and then pick up 20 yards, and it seemingly worked a ton. There was that big Green Bay run where the same thing happened. But also, if you look to the right, it's Tristan Wirfs and Aaron Stinney, who, backup guard. A lot of people were concerned about that. I was a bit concerned about that heading in. That guy had a great game, and you know it because you never heard his name, and that's what you want if you're an offensive lineman, is the broadcast to never bring you up. And really good blocking on the right, so that sort of allowed, when Fournette ran into his own offensive lineman and got back up, he had room to run. And as you see, he is able to get out, and he's able to pick up a 1st down. Good run. Again, kind of weird, but again, that's Leonard Fournette. That's what we love about him, is he does that kind of thing for whatever reason. This one, too, is good. I know it's starting a little bit later. This is just because that's what what the broadcast has. They didn't quite get the beginning of this play, but Ali Marpet is the key guy. He's running to the outside. It's pulling all the way over. And this is a tough block for an offensive lineman to make, because you have to just move so far. But as you see, Marpet is able to pull it off. He gets that edge, and now there's multiple Kansas City linebackers here who could run in and try and make a play on Leonard Fournette. This is kind of going to be speed right here, and it's going to come down to who's the faster guy, and the answer is going to be Fournette. He powers ahead of all of them. He runs into the end zone and gets a touchdown. So now let's talk about this one. This one was definitely a what the hell are you doing, Kansas City Chiefs? Have you not watched tape of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? What are you doing? Type of play. There were a few of them, and Fournette was able to take advantage on this one. It's a key 3rd down and 4 here. And again, I know this game ended in a blowout. At the time, though, this feels like a big play. I mean, this is a 12-point game. Kansas City, they just got a field goal, so if you can get a stop here, maybe you can score again, make it a 1-score game perhaps. That's totally in the cards right here. And again, we know how it worked out, but at the time, it felt pretty big. Fournette's running just a quick route, trying to get open, and, he's the guy who, over the middle, could potentially get open. And this is something he's done a good amount in this postseason run. And for Kansas City, you have to be aware that this is a possibility. And if you're going to play zone, your goal is to not allow 4 yards here. So don't go too far deep. However, once this play starts, notice how far deep these linebackers and safeties are. Daniel Sorensen, he's the guy I've circled in black. He's the closest guy to Fournette. But I just don't understand this. Why are you this far deep? And all of the receivers ran deep, which is the reason why. But someone's got to take away the halfback. Someone has to be prepared for the halfback, and a 10-yard gain isn't really that much worse than a 5-yard gain. So yes, criticize Kansas City. That is totally fair and totally reasonable, and I understand if you're just saying, well, why are you showing this as a highlight? This was just a mistake from Kansas City. But the reason why I'm showing it as a highlight, and the reason why I think it's still impressive, is because of how quick Fournette got there. So yes, it was a mistake, but these are mistakes you can come back from, and Leonard Fournette made sure that they weren't coming back from that mistake by just getting there in an absolute instant. Brady hits Fournette, who, he had dropped plays earlier, didn't drop that one, and also runs over some guys, and is able to pick up a first down. So, really good play from him. Good play by just the entire Buccaneers offense on that one. Okay, last one. This is another good example of just sort of them, completely twisting the Kansas City Chiefs offense into knots. Once the All-22 comes out, I have to make a video on Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich and the job their offense did. So this is the zone coverage play, and they're going to run play action. And what is one of the main reasons you run play action? It's to get the linebackers to move in, or, Kansas City players over the middle to move in, so that way you can throw over the top of them. That's one key way you can do it. But really, if we're boiling it down, the main reason you do it is to just get players out of position. And it doesn't necessarily matter if they're further in or further deep. You just want to get them out of position so you can make gaps bigger. So Tampa Bay does have stuff going deep, but they also have Fournette running a check down. And so if Kansas City sees this play action and then tries to cover deep, well, now they can simply hit Fournette and he'll be in a good position. Tom Brady takes the snap, he fakes the handoff to Fournette, and look at, I've circled a Kansas City player right there. That's a great example of he's completely turned his back and is trying to get deep because he says, oh my God, it's play action. I have to get deep and cover deep. But now you're completely leaving the door open for Fournette to catch something underneath and be able to pick up some yards. I think people might criticize and say, well, okay, horrible job, but really what are you supposed to do? Like, it's difficult to just sit here and say, oh, okay, well, you should have stayed shallow with Fournette. But the reality is, with so many weapons on Tampa Bay, it's hard to list them all. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate. You lose track of your Fournette when they have at least 3 or 4 of those guys on the field, and it's easy to lose track of Fournette, which is why Brady can take advantage. Brady's going to just flip it to Fournette, and then Fournette does the rest of the work, is able to run and deliver, again, a big blow at the end there. Really hard running by Fournette. He did a great job. And listen, no doubt about it, Leonard Fournette earned his Super Bowl ring. There's no denying it. I think if you went back in time a few years and told Jacksonville Jaguars fans Leonard Fournette would win a Super Bowl in Florida, they'd be pretty happy. Didn't quite work out that way. But, hey, I think it's a really cool story. He was a cast-off. He just got cut, didn't even get traded. Team decided that it was worth, it was worth just paying money to get rid of him, essentially, by cutting him. You kick on the dead cap. He joins Tampa Bay, is at first kind of not really that valuable, but works his way into a starter role, and has a big day in the Super Bowl in a huge playoff run. That's an awesome story. It really is, and he deserves a ton of credit for the way he's been able to go about this. I think it's just really cool. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.